Oh, hey friends. Sorry, I was just enjoying some lovely classical music. It's been a while since I've performed in front of people. Actually, the last time was probably when I was in the Kilgore Keyboard Orchestra. We got to play with John Schmidt of the Piano Guys. Oh, such an awesome experience of my time in community college. Oh, yeah, have I mentioned that I went to community college? I was actually in community college for 2 years. It was a great experience and totally worked for me. Are you interested to see if it would work for you? Well, keep watching and let's find out. Let's start by answering the question, what is a community college? Well, community colleges actually go by multiple names. You might have heard them called junior colleges, two-year colleges, city colleges, or technical colleges, which train students for specific careers and can be for-profit institutions. Wow, that's more titles than British nobility. Oh, dear heavens, I must acquire a few more ladyships and knighthoods. No matter which name you use, community colleges are primarily public colleges for high school graduates. They provide continuing education and training. In 2019 to 2020, about 19.6 million students attended universities. Almost 8 million of those students were enrolled at community colleges. Typically, students can transfer their community college credits to other four-year universities. However, there are quite a few differences between traditional universities and community colleges, primarily in degrees and campus life. So, let's take a look. First, degrees. The degree program at community college is typically shorter, usually designed to last about 2 years, although many students stay longer. The degree type is also quite different. At a traditional undergraduate university, students are working usually in a four-year program towards a bachelor's degree, such as a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Science, a Bachelor of Fine Arts, or more. At a community college, the degree programs primarily lead to associate's degrees, diplomas, and certificates. This is an important factor to note, especially if you want to pursue a career that requires a bachelor's degree, like a teacher, a speech pathologist, or an industrial engineer. Second, campus life. Usually, community colleges don't offer housing, because the point of community colleges is that they are local for the community. Most students commute to school. Approximately 30% of community colleges offer housing, although only about 1% of community college students live on campus. Contrastingly, about 50% of traditional university freshmen live on campus. Due to the lack of housing, campus life at community colleges is usually much more subdued. There are typically not as many events, clubs, or extracurricular activities as at four-year colleges. So you may have to give up on your dream of being in a university humans versus zombies club. Oh yeah, that's a real club at a real college. All right, so now that we know what a community college actually is and how it's different from a traditional university, let's take a look at the pros and cons. Hey, why don't we reverse it from our usual method and start with the cons? We've already discussed two cons, the lack of housing and lack of campus life. Other cons for community college can include limited curriculum, lighter workload, and uninvolved students. Because community colleges tend to be smaller than public in-state universities, the degree programs are limited. There are not as many choices of study topics, and the workload can also be limited and lighter. And I know, you're thinking, wow, a lighter workload, less homework, that sounds incredible. Well, as awesome as that sounds, it might not actually be a good thing in the long run. If you want to transfer to a traditional 4-year university, it can be difficult to adjust to a more rigorous academic setting. Or if a quality education is important to you and you love to study, like this nerd here, a community college program can be disappointing. Because the setting can be somewhat uninspiring, your fellow students might be uninvolved and disinterested. This can make invigorating class discussions non-existent and group projects a difficult time. The lack of campus life can also make it hard to connect with your community college classmates to form a community. I know, the irony, right? Okay, now that we've crossed through Conn County, let's pass to Pro Palace. Darling, it's so lovely to see you. How do you do? So the pros of community college include the cost, flexible scheduling, exploration of majors, class size, and transitional options. Community college is usually the most affordable option for higher education. Because the location is typically close, you can usually commute to school. In fact, when I attended community college, I actually took their free bus and saved even more gas money. The flexible class scheduling also allows students to work a job while still at school. Night classes are available for those who work day jobs. The cheaper costs and flexible schedule can allow students to explore different majors. If you're not quite sure what you want to get a degree in, this could be a much more affordable, practical option. Since the class sizes at community colleges are smaller, you can open a dialogue with the professor to learn even more about specific subjects. Then, once you make up your mind, you can transition to a 4-year university. Classes from community colleges will transfer to almost every traditional university. Well, now that we've studied the community college definition, pros and cons, I think it's time for a study break. Let's have a short story time while we rest. Hey friends! So, once upon a time there was a high school student named Caroline. Yes, the story is about me, okay? She was homeschooled, but during her last 2 years of high school, she attended community college. Both years, she took multiple classes, and through that experience, she learned that she loved history. Once she graduated high school, she transferred 26 hours of dual credit to a university. During the summer after her freshman year, Caroline took another community college course online. Because of her community college credits, she was able to obtain 2 degrees, one in history, in just 4 years. And then, Caroline lived happily ever after. I hope. So what was the moral of that story, you might ask? Well, not really a moral so much as an example of community college options that you could pursue. Dual credit classes are a solid option. You can begin taking college courses as a junior in high school. These classes are a great starting point for you to ease into a college experience in a less stressful setting. All of the students in my Spanish 2 class in community college were actually dual credit homeschoolers. Online classes are also a solid choice. By taking your fundamental courses online or as a dual credit student, you can save money and time from a traditional 4-year university program. So, check your previous budget and interest list and see if community college would be a better option for you rather than starting a traditional university right after graduating high school. Talk to your parents about trying a community college class in person or take a course online. If it works for you and your family, consider enrolling as a dual credit student and start your collegiate journey now. And don't forget to check out the thought-provoking questions and activities in the supplemental PDF for this lesson. Next time, we'll be applying ourselves to the art of applications. Until then, keep constructing your college castle in the sky. Hey!